Well, it's a very busy expo floor here at Sydney Summit, and today we have got a fantastic use case that I'm really thrilled to be able to present today on This Is My Architecture Live. And today I'm actually joined by Daniel Lorenzin from Olikka. Hey Daniel, how are you?
Good.
Having a good show so far?
Yeah, it's been great.
Fantastic. So let's start with, what does Olikka do?
We're a modern systems integrator. We create innovative solutions to enable customers and change organizations.
So systems integration, I guess you guys know a little bit about automation and done a bit in that space.
Yep.
But I heard that you've been using workspaces, or Amazon workspaces, for a couple of years. So tell us a little bit about what your customers are asking for there.
Well, they're asking for support around Amazon workspaces and like provisioning and rolling out and creating workspaces. So we created something to enable them to self-service a lot better.
So workspaces obviously requires a lot of things like the provisioning, the identity side. Seems to be a lot of steps. I know I've certainly heard from customers who say, hey, it takes like weeks sometimes just to get my new employees on board.
Yes.
And it looks like you guys have built a solution for that, which is really cool. Daniel, a lot of great icons up here. Let's get started.
Great. So we created a self-service hub, and we're using Deep Lens and both Alexa in order to facilitate that. So when someone walks up to the self-service hub, we use Alexa Deep Lens to send the person's photo to a Lambda. And they're being pre-registered, so from that Lambda, we can then go to recognition to work out who they are. From recognition, we can say, all right, you're an identity that we know, and we store it into a bucket, as well as cache it into DynamoDB.
So all those employees' photos are sitting in this S3 bucket over here.
Yeah, and within recognition.
And you're just using an Amazon facial recognition technology. Doesn't sound like you need to know a whole lot about artificial intelligence and ML, right?
No, and it's very easy to get started.
Fantastic, fantastic. So DynamoDB, what are you using that for?
So that's like a pre-cache to work out who's at a certain location at a certain time, so then we can use it later on when the Alexa gets invoked.
So why Dynamo? Why didn't you use maybe another structured database?
It's very easy and low friction to get started, and it just was a no-brainer for us.
And I guess the low latency is a big thing as well, right? You don't want your users sitting there for 5 or 10 seconds just to be able to be identified, right?
It was like very expandable and easy to get started.
Fantastic. So I get how you register the employees and you get that identity set up, but how does an employee actually get started with the services that they want?
So they've walked up to the Alexa or the self-service hub. They will then call the Alexa skill. So we have the Workspaces Helper skill, one of many skills. That will then determine who's at a location by doing a look up to the Dynamo to say who's been here recently. Based on the results that we get back, we will then preemptively and prompt the user. So we can actually go back to a user with their name saying, hi Daniel, welcome to the self-service hub. I see your workspace is currently stopped. Would you like to start it?
So a really personalized experience from what I can see. Love this interaction that's going on. So what are actually the steps to actually provisioning the services that they need all those workspaces?
So if I hadn't had a workspace, the prompt may be, do you want to create a workspace right now? And in that case, we'll go through an approval process. So we'll go into the steps functions. So that could go either to the user to say, do you want to create a workspace, approve or deny, or to a manager for that user saying, Daniel would like a new workspace, can we provision them one, etc. And if they get approval via the steps functions, then we can go and automatically provision that workspace, and then using step functions again, email the user saying, hey, your workspace is now ready, this is how you log into it.
So Daniel, I'm going to hold you to something here. How long does it actually take for that that recognition to actually kick in and actually start the process going?
Yeah, so we had it was a bit of a challenge. We wanted it really quick because we actually use the same infrastructure to open our front door. So we actually wanted it down to about 2 seconds.
So you built a prototype to open up your front door with recognition.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we had to beat a pin. So as long as I get it under 2 seconds, beating someone typing in a pin, that was our goal.
So that was a great experiment, and you've obviously iterated on that to actually use it in a real use case, right? Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, great use of so many different AWS services, databases, obviously completely serverless.
Correct.
Tell me how many kind of Lambdas that you spin up on this in an actual production environment.
There's quite a few. It's quite a busy architecture, but at the same time, being it's all cloud formation, it's made it really easy to do it within Amazon.
Right, easily to launch, fantastic.
Yep.
As cool as this is, where are you taking this next?
Yeah, so the next iteration, we're looking to replace the Alexa with Sumerian.
Sumerian, so
Yes.
we're going to go put Sumerian here.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what sort of integration effort that's actually involved.
It's actually pretty low because it's all microservices architecture. We're just substituting for where we use Alexa to now use Sumerian, and Sumerian will also do the prompt. So it's been like a really easy shift to the next version of our system.
Fantastic. Serverless, you've packaged up a lot of the business logic into Lambdas. I guess if any of your customers came and asked for some other service to be launched, you've really been able to isolate a lot of that business logic, so it's more of a case of extending some Lambda functions and maybe some modifications to your step functions,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Daniel, this is fantastic, and thanks so much for sharing your architecture
Thanks
with
for
us
the
today.
opportunity.
And thank you for joining and listening to another episode of This Is My Architecture Live. Back to you.